Welcome back to the PHLY Eagles podcast. Joined now by the great Mina Kimes of ESPN and the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny. Mina, here's our question for you. You are the hot new offensive coordinator candidate. Everybody wants to interview you and bring you in. How low are the Eagles in your preference order? How generally attractive do you think this job is?
It's a great question because I think if you have a lot of confidence in yourself, if you think you should be a head coach and you got what it takes, I think it's a very attractive job. But because the risk reward of this job is the highest of any in the league, right? Like you have a good shot at getting a head coaching job. Also, by the way, the bar is hell after last year.
Yes.
So if you can show some improvement, you will be rewarded. You also get to work with a great front office that is going to address some of the issues that I think the personnel issues that plague the offense that didn't get talked about. So the opportunity is there. However, the risk is also there because we have now seen, multiple offensive coordinators get blamed for the team. You have to deal with obviously a level of scrutiny that I don't think comes with like the Chargers job, for example.
Right.
So it is both the most and least appealing job at the same time. And I think it really just depends on how you think of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly stated that I think the ego is really the instructive part of this. You need to have the ego.
In theory, it's self-selecting to some degree because you only want the person who would want the job.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But it's starting to filter out a little bit. Like as you reported, EJ, the Eagles were very interested in Mike McDaniel and did talk to him.
Yeah.
You can understand why he would choose the Chargers instead. Now the report from Diana Rossini that Brian Daboll would prefer the Titans to the Eagles. Now you all of a sudden are wondering, how down bad am I?
Yeah, I think that with Brian Daboll, maybe his relationship with Robert Saleh is something we underestimated in this, but still, we are parsing here for sure. I wanted to ask you, Mina, if Jeffrey Lurie gave you a call and was like, Mina, we missed out on McDaniel, we missed out on Daboll. Who should we call? Who among the candidates, maybe that they've interviewed or maybe not, do you think you still feel like there's upside there for the Eagles among that field of available guys?
Well, I see him more associated with head coaching jobs, but I think the Rams guy, the pass game coordinator,
Scheelhaase,
Nate Scheelhaase. I would love to get somebody from that tree in the building. So that's a name that comes to mind because you're kind of running out of guys in those teams. I think down in Jacksonville too, Udinski, given some of the coaches that he's worked for, but these are both mysteries. Like you don't know when you bring in these guys. But of course, that's the case with the offensive coordinator. Most cases, you're not getting a guy who already has call plays and has a body of work like a Mike McDaniel. Sorry, got a little bit stuffed up there. So you're taking a risk no matter what. I think, though, I would want to get somebody who's been associated with one of those very good offenses, more creative offenses around the league.
Yeah, I feel like, just really quick on this, I feel like we have reached a point now that the top guys are off the board where you are starting to hit the point where you're not, if you're prioritizing experienced play callers, you're not necessarily going to be getting the upside that you might get from an unknown. So, no, I think that's...
Although as we did say, I think people might have characterized Shane Steichen that way when he was coming off of getting fired by the Chargers. I think sometimes you're able to bounce back. And to that point, I'm gonna run you down some of the reported candidates who they have talked to. You tell me just your first blush reaction. Zach Robinson, who once upon a time was sort of like considered the Scheelhaase, but we saw what he did in Atlanta the past couple of years.
Yeah. I'd be a little bit hesitant there, honestly. I mean, the Atlanta offense did some things really well. I think I would want to get him in the building and ask him to be very transparent about why the offense felt so siloed and whether or not it was because of the quarterbacks and how he perceived their limitations. But they did run the football well, and I think a big priority for the Eagles, as you and we've talked about on the show, should be getting the running back. That's actually number one priority for me.
Okay. Next up, Josh Grizzard after his 1 year in Tampa.
That's what I'm interested in because when I was watching the Bucs this year, I didn't feel like their failures were for the most part due to play calling. So I feel like that one has some intrigue.
Okay.
But that's another team where the run game really fell off, but I do think that was more about personnel.
And theoretically, if you're giving Stoutland the keys to the run game, maybe that is a potential pairing. Bobby Slowik, after his 2 years in Houston, maybe he looks better in comparison after what we saw from the Texans this weekend.
I don't know about that. That was a team that really couldn't run the ball right. And again, personnel is an issue, no doubt. I really want to give somebody who's shown me that he's called a good run game.
Okay. I think there's some unknown with like Charlie Weiss Jr. or Mike Kafka. I don't need you to weigh in on Jib Bob Cooter, but I will ask you about Kliff Kingsbury.
So that actually intrigues me because of what I've just said. Because, well, whatever you think about Kliff, and he has his flaws, I think at multiple stops now, he has called really elite rushing attacks.
Yes, Mina.
Really
creative
rushing attacks. And I think, and this is, again, I know I'm a broken record, they need an injection of creativity when it comes to the ground game. And so I actually think Kingsbury would be an interesting hire.
Oh man, this is so validating.
Well, save your validation.
Have you been saying this?
Yeah.
I have been banging the Kingsbury drum on this show.
But hold on, Mina.
No,
over Mike
but
McDaniel.
His hair. Oh, but
it's like his.
I wouldn't have done over Mike McDaniel.
Wears. Oh, I can't deal with it.
Too far.
Yeah, you took it too far. All right, let's back off the offensive coordinator. Talk a couple of big picture offseason questions. If in fact the Eagles do have to move on from AJ Brown, what kind of market do you think he would have?
Ooh, I think still a pretty robust one. I have to think, even though he is not without blame for some of the issues at the ending of the last season, I think enough of a body of work and such a unique skill set that you would still get a pretty significant return for him. I haven't looked at his contract lately, but it doesn't strike me as particularly onerous, given where the receiver market is going. So I think you'd be able to get a pretty decent haul for it.
Yeah, I think the Eagles, as we've talked about, the Eagles take on all the dead cap, but the team who trades for him, it's a good contract for them. So I think at least a second, probably.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we agree. How about just Jalen? And this does tie back into the offensive coordinator discussion. Yeah. But aside from the running game, what would you like to see emphasized in whatever this new scheme is?
Yeah. Okay. So the reason why I keep going back to the run game is because, and this doesn't always make Eagles fans happy, but whatever. I really believe Jalen Hurts as a quarterback has to be paired with a good running game. And that doesn't mean he can't be an elite quarterback. It's honestly the thing I missed with Russell Wilson that I now, when I look back at how I analyzed him and thought about him, I think I failed to understand, especially later in his career when his mobility dropped off a little bit, how important it was for him to have a good run game as part of the offense with him because of his general preference for throwing outside the numbers, right? And people, I'm sure your listeners are aware of this, but you want the run game to succeed so that teams have to respect it, drop a safety into the box so that you can get matchups outside so that teams can't just play split safety versus you, et cetera. So I think when I think about Jalen Hurts and what is it going to take to get him playing the way he used to, it really does start with that ground game. And, you know, if in
theory, him being a part of that as well.
Well, that's the second thing I was going to get to. So if he doesn't want to run, that's a problem to me. Because now if there is like legitimate physical limitations, that's a different conversation. But if it's just a desire thing, I think that's something that's like a serious conversation you have to have that really does impact his future with the organization. Because I believe when I think about what is it going to take to get Hurts back and what is conducive to his success, his legs also have to be part of that run game to maximize this offense. And so that's another very serious conversation that you got to have with him and whatever coaching staff you bring in. But you know, I think that's not to say like he is incapable. He's absolutely capable of playing better than what we saw at the end of last year. He's never going to be a quarterback who throws over the middle of the field at a high level. Or high rate. That's just not his game. But you have to find a way to, one, create an offense where just because you have a quarterback who doesn't throw over the middle of the field at a higher rate doesn't mean you can't call an offense where you use motion, formation, personnel groupings, etc., to create mismatches in a way that the Eagles did not, if that makes sense.
100%.
Because people have been having this conversation. Well, they have to call limited offense because of Hurts. You have to call a specific offense because of Jalen Hurts. It's true. I really believe that. But a specific offense doesn't necessarily mean a limited one to the degree that we saw. So I think there's opportunity here for a play caller to come in and build something around him and his skill set that looks a lot better than it did last year.
Yeah, for the audio listeners, EJ and I are just like nodding along as you talk, because it's so right. It's part of why like the McDaniel fit to me would have been so interesting, because how do you get him to throw over the middle of the field? You get guys open enough that he can't not throw them the ball over the middle of the field, right? And it's also my understanding this is not all Jalen. Like, the coaching here is a real factor. From do not turn the ball over, do not turn the ball over, do not turn the ball over. Well, when you throw over the middle of the field, that is it is riskier, and so that is drilled into him to some degree. Yeah. You know, I would like to see whoever it is. The most important thing to me is whoever comes in as the offensive coordinator is someone who, when you get the ball with 15 seconds left in the second quarter, wants to go try to score some points. Like somebody who is just aggressive, please.
Man, I gotta say too, like, I know I posted this on Blue Sky and I felt a little bit bad, but as an Eagles fan, how can you not watch what the Seahawks did to the Niners the next week?
Yeah.
And not just think about how abysmal your offense was against that team. And I think that's what was so insulting about it. Insulting is a little strong, but like, look, if they were playing, because we didn't talk after the game, if it was the Seahawks, for example, right? And you got that defense on the other side of the field. Let's say the Eagles are playing this. Then you know what? A second and long draw. All right. Like, I get it. You know, like, you're probably... That Niners defense was playing guys that I am currently now watching because I'm watching Jarrett Stidham preseason tape against them. The unwillingness to take risks against that defense was honestly pathetic. So
totally agree.
It was really, really, really bad stuff all around.
And I will say, I mean, the offense on the hook, but also watching that Seahawks defense against the Niners was a little bit clarifying. In the Eagles defense was really, really good. It was not the best defense in football.
Yeah, I think you saw there's clearly like a Houston-Seattle tier, and then I would put Philly and Denver in the next tier, and some other Viking maybe. But yeah, Seattle and Houston were just a cut above this season. So,
did you have something else?
No, I said, speaking of that, let's get to the game.
Oh, we have two things here. Now, last time you were on was right before the playoffs, Mina. We did a draft of just total wins for the playoff teams. We have to be completionists. We're not, but you are in last place. I will show it.
Wow.
You had Texans, Eagles. You were trying to pacify us and take the Eagles. You have Texans, Eagles, Broncos, Packers. You've got 2 total wins. If the Broncos win it all, you can get to 4. EJ, you've got Jaguars, Patriots, Bears, Niners. If the Patriots win it all, you can get to 6. I had Rams, Bills, Seahawks, Chargers. I'm at 4, but I'm guaranteed at least 5 because I've got both NFC teams. So, I unfortunately, Mina, you have been eliminated.
The Eagles really screwed me.
They really did.
Now
you know how it feels.
Yeah. I tried to pander, and it blew up in my face. The lesson is never pander.
That's right.
I thought they would win. I genuinely thought they would win that game. So to be clear, I was speaking from the heart.
We do have one final thing for you. Now, I told you I wasn't going to bring this up again. However, you are an expert. You are going to be on. It's like NFL Great British Bake Off. Tell us about it.
Oh yeah, big news today in the Bake Off world. Did you see Prue is retiring?
No, I did not see this.
Yeah, end of an era for those who watch Bake Off. I am on. It's called the Great American Baking Show. It's the same.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's a special edition, NFL edition. I'm competing with Von Miller, Julian Edelman, and Antonio Gates. Spent a few days in a village in London taping this with them. We each baked 3 things. It's the same format. The signature, the technical, and the showstopper. It was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. So it drops next Sunday, February 1st or 2nd. February 1st, I think, is when it comes out on the Roku channel. So go check it out.
Okay, we are looking forward
Very
to that.
excited to watch that.
Very excited.
I
mean, first of all, the odds have to be way in your favor. I'm hoping. We'll be rooting for you.
I can't spoil, but I have been baking.
How intimidating was Paul Hollywood?
So, oh my God. I can't spoil.
Okay.
I'll tell you something offline. But he is a star. He drives an orange Lamborghini.
Okay.
Wow.
By the way.
Man.
I saw it on the lot. I was like, whose is that? And they were like, obviously it's Paul Hollywood's. Those eyes, they're blue steel.
So all of this is to say that you are an expert here, and we need you to weigh in and just tell us, Lindsay's going to put something up on the screen, what you would call what you see before you.
It's yellow cake. It's Texas sheet cake, right?
It's yeah. I think yellow cake is a fine answer. What would you do if someone
Texas sheet cake?
Yeah.
I think. Sorry.
It's either yellow cake with chocolate frosting or whatever, or if you are demented to some degree.
Okay. All right.
Chocolate cake. He thinks that's chocolate cake.
It's a chocolate cake.
What?
It's a chocolate cake. I really wanted a day off from the cake debate.
There's nothing about the cake.
There is
chocolate.
a geographical difference here.
It's not.
In my household, that's a chocolate cake. Okay? It's a cake covered
if
in chocolate
I ordered
icing,
a chocolate
cake
and somebody brought that to me,
it's a good cake, Mina.
I would be so angry.
I would never be angry at that cake. It's a good cake.
I wouldn't be angry at the cake. I would be angry at the deception.
Yes.
It's a chocolate cake.
Yes.
Saying that's a chocolate cake is like saying the Eagles had a good run game this year. It's
no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Not the same.
It's the same thing.
What is a chocolate junior? What is it? It's not a yellow cake junior. It's a chocolate.
Junior?
It's a chocolate junior. A chocolate cake
junior?
with chocolate icing is a double chocolate cake for a reason. It's not the chocolate cake. It's a chocolate cake.
What do you call a chocolate cake with vanilla frosting?
That is a chocolate cake with vanilla frosting to me. It's a different thing. It's
you
a
just
different
called
thing.
it a chocolate cake.
Mina, thank you for sharing our outrage. It is nice to be validated. Check out this week's episode of the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny. Thank you so much for joining us all season, Mina.
Bye, guys. This was fun. I'm sorry I brought such bad fortune.
We had Kingsbury at least. We had
right.
Kingsbury.
That's right. Yeah. And we'll be back with more on the PHLY Eagles podcast. Stay with us.